Hi friends, welcome to follow up. Let's have a look at today's daily challenge problem 118, Pascal's triangle. So this is a classic problem for now, and also Pascal's angle is actually very famous in mathematics. So in this video, we are going to give two formats of solutions. One is based on recursion, and the other is based on iteration. So basically here the problem set is not very large because the number of rows in this problem is bounded above by 30. So Pascal angle is something like this. So you have this one, right? The first, if the number of rows is 1, you just have a list of list. The list in a set list, it will just consider a number 1. And then if we do it in a induction fashion, so the next row will be computed like illustrated in the graph. So actually, so the rule is like this. So let me strategy. So shift and add. So this is our strategy. So now, for example, let's use the third row as an example. So the third row is 1, 2, 1, right? So the question is how to get the next row. So here is the fourth row, right? If we use a third row. So actually it can be get like this. So we write this one, then appended it is with a 0. And then we insert a 0 at the very beginning, then shift, right? So then the sum of these two lists, so it's going to be 1, 3, 3. So here is 1, 2, 1, right? So 1, 3, 1. So this will be the fourth row. So similarly, if you got the fourth row, so you can do the same thing. So you have 1, 3, 3, 1. You put a 0 here, and then you write a 0 and copy the original fourth row. You get 1, 3, 3, 1. Then you add them together. You get 1, 4, 6, 4, 1. So this will be the fifth row, right? As in this illustration. So we see this illustration is dynamic, is very interesting. So with that said, basically we are ready to write the code. So writing the code actually is very straightforward. For first version, I'm going to use recursion. So first, let's write the base case. If n equals 1, so in this case, we just need to return this one. So this is also the example 2. So now assume we have the result for n equals n minus 1. So in other words, let's call self-generate. Let's assume, let's see, self-generate. So we have the result for n minus 1. And then what we want to get the last row in the temp, right? So we get temp -1. So here I want to make a new copy, right? -1 and make a new copy. And then left, I'm going to append it with a 0. And right, I'm going to do something like this. So 0 plus, right? Right. Or you can insert at index 0 a 0. Then what we want to do is we want to do temp append. So we want to append a new row that is basically the sum of these two. So for AB in zip, left and right, right? So once we have this, so we are ready to return the temp. So this temp will be the final result. So before we make any comments or move forward, let's first do a test. Yeah, it passes just case for n equals 5. So now let's submit. So we get it passed. So if you like, maybe you can also consider using cache, but decorator, but not necessary for this problem. So this is the first version of solution. But with the same idea, I want to write or expose to you a solution based on iterative solution. So here, let's see, base, I'm going to use it like 1, and then the result are going to be base, right? So basically we want to iterate for n minus 1 times, right? So if base append 0, I want to write base plus 0, right? And the base add head 0, so right, so we're going to use 0 plus the base, right? And then what we want to do, we want to make a new base. The new base will be x plus y for, or a plus b for x, y in zip this 2, right? Let's copy it to avoid typing errors. So we get here, and then the second one will be this one, right? Here the order actually does not matter. So then what we want to do, we want to append this base to the result, right? And then we just need to do the return, right? So if n equals 1, actually this for loop, we do not enter this for loop, we directly return this one. So now before we make any comments, let's first do a test. Yeah, it passes the, so here let me change this version to VV1. Test this one, right? Yeah, it passes the test case. Now let's look at the generic case. Yeah, it passes the cases, all the generic cases. So with that said, basically that's about it for this specific problem. So actually here the main point is to realize how we get the next row given a previous row, right? So once we realize this, this is actually defined in the inductive fashion, so we can write easily using recursion, or if we like, we just use some verbose brute force to write it as a iterative format. So with that said, that's basically about it for this exercise or this video.